Look up regional reports for the top streaming charts by any country except Iran, because Iran is not even on that drop down list of options.
Right.
So Spotify doesn't even recognize Iran as a market, it just doesn't exist in terms of Spotify.
Let me segue into today and the nature of the Persian music industry and market today, in as much as we can do this with any authority in just a few minutes. But to get your thoughts on this, I mean, one wants to think that things have gotten a lot better and that we're at a new moment. And there's certainly more diversity to Iranian music these days, from hip hop to alternative rock to folk. Some of the groups and artists, as we started off when we were talking to the folks we've had on this program in the last year. But really, the market feels fragmented. It's clearly dysfunctional still. Much of the music feels, I dare say, uninspired or derivative. What accounts for this in your view?
Well, like you said, there is a fragmented music industry. There's no coherent infrastructure for reporting or creating music. There's a music industry inside of Iran, then there's the one outside of Iran, and nobody knows how to track the best-selling music, and there's no I would say democratization of data. Everybody's just creating their own playlists, and that I think is one of the most important issues that we have. So even if good music is being created, there's no way to track it and get it, give exposure to it.
How would tracking it help?
Well, I guess. So if we're looking at Spotify as one of the major platforms
Sure.
that people are using, you can go to spotifycharts.com and look up regional reports for the top streaming charts by any country except Iran, because Iran is not even on that drop down list of options.
Right.
So Spotify doesn't even recognize Iran as a market, it just doesn't exist in terms of Spotify. And one of the reasons I would say, is that a lot of users in Iran connect to the internet and to Spotify through VPN connections,
Yes.
which masks their IP address inside of Iran. So Spotify doesn't recognize this user is logging in through Iran. But once you have a sort of, that there's a market out there, then you try to describe it and go more granular and figure out why there's this amount of listeners from that specific market. Iranian music is just categorized as world music. There is nothing else that describes it when you want to
Right.
submit.
There's no recognizable genre for Persian music.
Yes.
Even one called Persian music. There isn't, right?
There is nothing like that. Even if you look at all the Grammy nominations that we've had from Iranian artists, they have either been world music or new age. There's nothing for Persian music. I think one of the important steps in getting recognition and representation and being able to discover good Persian music is trying to establish an identity for Persian music. And we don't have that in place anywhere at all.